A respected businessman, a precinct captain, a clown at children's parties. 26 bodies buried beneath his house. John Wayne Gacy's shocking double life fooled everyone, and understanding how starts with the man they thought they knew. John Wayne Gacy was born in Chicago on March 17, 1942. His early records document a volatile childhood, marked by physical abuse from his father and a severe head injury at age 11 that caused intermittent blackouts. By his 20s, Gacy had relocated to Waterloo, Iowa, where in December 1968, authorities arrested him for the sexual assault of a teenage boy. Convicted of sodomy, he received a 10-year sentence at Anamosa State Penitentiary. However, after serving only 18 months, the Iowa Parole Board released Gacy in 1970, allowing him to return to Illinois completely unsupervised. In 1971, Gacy registered PDM Contractors, a remodeling firm that grew to earn over $200,000 annually. He bought a home in Norwood Park and became a Democratic precinct captain, hosting large neighborhood barbecues. By 1975, he created Pogo the Clown, performing at children's hospitals and charity parades. This highly visible public identity was a calculated effort in compartmentalization. Gacy did not have a split personality. He was actively managing impressions, using his civic reputation to build trust, while completely separating his respectable daytime roles from his private choices. Between 1972 and 1978, a quiet, devastating pattern took hold in the Chicago suburbs. The targets were young men and teenage boys, with documented ages ranging from 14 to 27. Gacy did not rely on a single method to find them. Instead, he exploited everyday opportunities. He used PDM contractors to offer high-paying construction jobs and short-term manual labor to young job seekers. To others, he offered rides in his red Chevrolet, social invitations, or simple promises of cash. The earliest known victim was 16-year-old Timothy McCoy, who met Gacy at a Chicago bus terminal in January 1972 during a holiday layover. McCoy, like dozens who followed, ended up at the home in Norwood Park. Inside this private setting, the friendly contractor disappeared. Gacy restrained his victims with handcuffs or rope, subjected them to sexual assault, and killed them through physical strangulation or asphyxiation. It was a repetitive cycle of grooming, control, and absolute concealment, all occurring in a quiet residential neighborhood where neighbors noticed nothing out of the ordinary. In July 1975, 18-year-old John Butkovich vanished after leaving to collect his final paycheck from PDM contractors. His disappearance did not trigger a coordinated investigation. At the time, local police departments operated within strict jurisdictional boundaries, lacking a centralized system to cross-reference missing person reports. Because Gacy's formal Iowa parole supervision had already ended, Illinois authorities had no active monitoring system to flag his presence. Gacy's established standing as a successful businessman and civic volunteer made any early suspicions incredibly difficult to sustain. This illustrated a sobering truth. Public visibility and business success are never indicators of personal safety. While Gacy's Norwood Park address appeared on scattered municipal records, these files remained unconnected, allowing him to maintain his respectable facade while his private crimes continued entirely unnoticed. On December 11, 1978, 15-year-old Robert Peast vanished. He was working at the Nissan pharmacy in Des Plaines when he stepped outside to speak with a local contractor about a high-paying summer construction job. He never returned. Unlike many previous disappearances, Piest's family immediately filed a missing person report that evening, prompting Des Plaines and Cook County investigators to launch a rapid, coordinated inquiry into his whereabouts. Witness accounts and business records quickly identified the contractor as John Wayne Gacy. By cross-referencing Gacy's background, detectives uncovered his 1968 Iowa sodomy conviction. While this record did not prove guilt in the PS case, it shifted Gacy from a routine contact to a focused person of interest. Investigators drafted a search warrant, establishing the legal basis required to examine Gacy's property. On December 21st, officers executed the warrant, discovering drugs and contraband that allowed them to arrest Gacy on a minor possession charge. This strategic arrest kept Gacy detained while a second warrant escalated the search directly to his home's crawlspace. Inside the crawlspace beneath the Summerdale Avenue home, the missing person inquiry became physical evidence. Investigators ultimately uncovered 26 bodies buried in the layers of dirt under the house. In total, at least 33 victims were confirmed, with additional remains recovered from Gacy's garage and the Des Plaines River. Medical examiners and forensic investigators began the slow process of documenting the evidence. They relied on dental records, family details, and eventually modern DNA analysis to identify the remains, though several victims went unnamed for decades. While the media quickly coined the shorthand killer clown based on Gacy's volunteer work, the label was a sensationalist headline rather than a psychological explanation. In February 1980, the case moved to trial. Prosecutors presented extensive physical and testimonial evidence, leading the jury to reject the defense's insanity plea. Convicted in March, Gacy received the death sentence, which the Illinois Supreme Court upheld in 1984. On May 10, 1994, Gacy was executed by lethal injection at Stateville Correctional Center. The documented record serves not to fuel Gacy's notoriety, but to preserve the identities and restore the names of the victims. This tragedy warns us that the most dangerous monsters don't hide in the shadows, but they shake our hands in broad daylight. Vigilance remains our only shield. Share your thoughts below.